Ngā Te Mono table to kick us off with a bit of a whakatau.
Tēnā koe aisha tēnei mihi kāne kāpui o mai tēnei oro ki a hai. Korohihi pō, korohihi ao. Korohihi pō, korohihi ao. Tākini mai te ata korihi mai te manu he pō, he ao, he tino awa te a tihewa maui ora. Piki mai taku manu, kake mai taku manu ki te taho te wainui, ki te taho te wairoa. Ka tū te rupe ki tai ka ki ka, nau mai, ahu mai, koe tai mai. Ko taua manu I hihiri mai nei te wainui a tātau tēnei ata. Ko te hui tuatahi mo tēnei puari a hapuri, mo Whangaroa tainua ki te moana piko whiti. Ngā mihi kawana ki o kūtou katoa, ngā mema ko whakahukia mai ki o kūtou tūrurana te tepu nei. E Roddy, Jane, Belinda, Tana. Ngā mihi kawana ki o kūtou, I whakahokia uro te ahi. Kūtou anō ki te whai whakaro pai mo te hapuri nei o Whangaroa tainua ki te pēo whairangi. He mihi anō ki a rātou, ki hai ki a whakahokia mai. Ana, he mihi kawana ki a Lane, ki a Bruce, ki a Amy Noki. Me te painga hoki o rātou mahi ki te hāpai tēnei hāpuri I tērā torutau. I whakatau noa ki ngā mea maho, ki a koe Dane, Joe, kāre anō, he mihi tiana kāre a kori konei, he koe anō, he mihi kawana ki o kūtau, ko whai time, ko whai wahi, ki te hara mai ki te noho rāna te tepu. Ko te kaupapa o te tepu nei ki te whai whakaro pai mo te hāpuri nei. Nā reira ko te rata wero mā kūtou katoa. He hana hau ki te mihi atu ki ngā kaikauni hea, ko tai mai nei ki te tautoko tēnei ata, kia koe Councillor Smulders, Court, mo he tianga hau, hei mihi whakapāha nā Councillor Allen, and kāre nau ki te Councillor Stratford ko nei tēnei ata. Hoi anō tēnei ngā mihi kawana ki o kūtou. Ko tēnei te tino kaupapa ni māku e tū ki te mi atu ki o koutou. Kia timata I tō koutou tōru tau mo tēnei nohonga mo tēnei wā. Ngā mihi kawana ki o koutou katoa ngā me mo te hāpuri harea mai nei. Ki te mātakitaki a rātou kua whai otinga mo tā rātou nohonga rāna te tepu nei. Tēnei ngā mihi kawana ki tātou katoa. I just want to acknowledge, first of all, that there are great things that bring us here today. And those are the karakia that I shared at the beginning of my kōrero. I want to acknowledge the returning community board members who have come back to the table. They know what the challenge is. And you know, I find it amazing that you're going to put your hand up and give it another crack for another 3 years. I also wanted to acknowledge the new members of who are sitting around the table. Joe, I especially want to acknowledge the passing of your dad. You know, life is a journey, and for some, you know, someone departing is another journey for them. So they go move on to other things. So my sincere condolences to you and to your family. Dane. I think you're about to find out what this is all about. Corey's taken the easy line out by not being here. I understand he's in Auckland for the graduation ceremony for his son down there. So, you know, some things are a little bit more important than others. And I think at that granular level, whānau are a little bit more important than hapuri. The communities as well. I also want to acknowledge the presence of our sitting and elected councillors. Councillor Smulders Court, acknowledge also that Councillor Stratford isn't here at the moment, and I understand too that Councillor Allen for the Ngā Tai o Tukero ward has also tendered her apologies. I also want to acknowledge everybody from the community who come along. Part of the inaugural meeting is to swear the members in. So them doing that in front of the community, I think, is a very strong. We could have done that, you know, behind closed doors. But it's much more better if we do those things in an open and honest way. So, I mean, they are serving us as a community. Right? And the reason why I've been voluntold to come on. Well, it's actually part of my position at the council. I work for the Tupomo Māori engagement team, and my particular ward of responsibility is the Eastern Ward, Whangaroa and Bay of Islands. So it does give me much pleasure and an honour to be able to stand with the to your inaugural meeting. I do know that you've got stuff to get on with besides the swearing in. You've got to find your chair and your deputy chair and all that sort of stuff. Usually what I do is I volunteer the person who isn't here for a position. Corey might find himself the chair or deputy without him even knowing. But yeah, I don't want to hold things up. I want you guys got business in front of you, but also once the swearing in is complete, I'm going to hightail it over to Kaikohe to support the Kaikohe Ward very much the same way. So without further ado, to the community, once, twice, three times welcome, to the board, and everybody seated around the table also, once, twice, three times welcome. And I guess in the time-honoured way of a tupuna, I should finish this with a song. E toru puawai, o taku puti puti, te aroha tu manako, me te whakapono, ko te mea nui, ko te aroha, hei whakawhanau ia tātau e, unuhia i te rito o te hara keke, kei he ara apoa te komapo e, nā ui mai, he aha te mea pai, maku e ki atu, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. Nei tēnā koutou kia hui mana tāpaka.
Ko te mori te kere, ko te moinui te kone te pē, te kore te pō. Ki ngā tangata Māori ngā rangi rau ko papa, ko tēnei te tingatanga ko te ākuati hei wā maurara. Ko te mihi tuatai me te ātua i hua titiro mai o whakarongo mai a ngā toa aru tu i au tāni me te ātua Māori. Nō reira, te whare tu nei a tēnā koe te whakiwapu i tēnā kōrua. Nō reira te matu te whanua. E takoto mai, ni te marae maho o te motu. Te tangata mai I rote te whare o ngā whānau. Nā reira, e haere atu rā I te rangatira. E nā reira te rangatira mā. E rangatira. Nā ko tā me te tu me te whakamanatia ni tā aroha me te manakita mo te whānau. Te hāpuri pauri o pio whairangi me Whangaroa. Me te tikanga o ngā iwha mātua tupuna me te mihi whakatau e no reira he tēnei te mihi, he tēnei te mihi, he tēnei te mihi, te rangatira. E no reira te rangatira ni te tauni hera e kōrua i ngā mihi aroha ki a koutou. Me te uki mai me te awhinatia mo tō kautapu te rā. Me koe te hāpuri me ngā whānau o ngā mema. O te hāpuri pauri, o tēnei te mihi ki a pē te rangatira. O te ataki wai o Whiawhairangi me Whangaroa. I suppose one of those things becomes te atikana. When we have a rangatira stand te mihi whakatau always, I suppose, a part of our tikanga to give response. And so, first of all, we take through, I suppose, that higher power that keeps an eye on us and make sure we're doing the right thing, and acknowledging, I suppose, those who have departed, but also, I suppose, pay my condolences to our board member who's lost her father, and acknowledge our, I suppose, our councillors for being present with us today, as well as our communities and family members that have come here. I always want to acknowledge everyone that sits on this table, whether we're new or whether we've been here before. It's a pretty big responsibility we have. And I know that anything is capable. We're capable of anything at this board, at least. Because we've always looked after each other. We've always supported each other. And for our new family that have joined our ranks, then you can always look to us to support you if you need that support. I got away.
Te aroha, te makapuno, me te rangi bari, tātū ano, te
Aroha te makapuno, ono.
me te rangi bari,
Nō reira, ia te hono no taitai hono tūnga mate ki te humurati. Ia te hono no taitai hono. Tūnga ki te humura. Nō reira, tēnā koutou. Nā kura me tātou katoa. Kāuke. Oio.
Morena everybody, thank you for our kaiporero i puna ata, kōrero mihi and our welcoming. Today is a day of celebration, so I want us to be happy, make the most of it. It's all about welcoming you guys in as our board, and we know that that's a huge job and you've taken it upon you to represent our communities, and you'll do a great job over the next 2 years. My name's Aisha Piriwai. I'm the manager of our Democracy Services team, and I'm here today on behalf of our Chief Executive. We have apologies as well from our Mayor, who was unable to come along today. So I have the privilege of welcoming you, but I'll call you up to make your oath so that you can be official members and we can get on with our meeting today. You're in alphabetical order of serving. Yes. So we have the open English or in Te Reo. You can choose which we want to read. And then, yeah.
I, Joanne Alexander, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute in the best interests of the Whangaroa district and the powers, authorities and duties invested in me, or imposed upon me as a member of the Te Hiku Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Just so correct for regular on script, so it's not just for every board, it's the Bay of Islands Whangaroa.
You're not accepting okay. Okay. Speak it out.
Okay. Congratulations. Next up, we've got Tyler Bemba. English, Te Reo.
Ko au ko Tyler Bemba, ka uati ai ki rungi te pono me te tika, ka mutu ki te taumata o tuku atamai me aku whakapaunga. Ka mahi ai mō te whainga o te hiku o te Bay of Islands Whangaroa. Haere tonu ki ngā ihi me ngā herenge mahi, ka pa ki roto ka urihi I runga I ahau hei mema o te poare o te hapore o te o Backgrounds Whangaroa e ai ki te turi kawanatanga a rohi 2002. Te turi kawanatanga a rohi mō ngā kōrero whakamohio me ngā huihuinga kōrero 1987 me tāpiri atu ki era atu o ngā turi tainga.
They changed that.
Excellent. Bodies.
Yeah. Ako wari ati ki mako kaotia I te kirunga I te pono mi te tika kamuti te taumata matamai me aku whakataunga ka mahia mo te whainga o te tuku o te ika. Haere tonu ki ngā ihi me ngā haere ngā mahi ka pai ki roko ka urihi I runga I ahau I mema o te pauri o te hapuri o te hipu. I ai ki te ture kawanatanga a rohe tū tāu tū. Ki turi kawanatanga a rohe mō ngā kōrero whakamohio me ngā huihuinga kōrero 1987 me tāpiri atu ki era atu o ngā ture rāngi.
Right. Hey, buddy.
You smile? Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you, Roddy. Right. Dane.
I, Dane Hawker, declare that I will faithfully, impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of the whānau district the powers, authorities, and the duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board by virtue of Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
My name's Dane, it was from my picture.
Yeah, so we will we'll frame all your certificates and then we'll give them back to you so you can put them on your wall with pride. Next up, we've got Jane.
Ka au, ka Jane Hindle, ka oati ai, ki runga I te pono me te tika, ka mutu ki te taimata o toku atamai me aku whakaparamo. Ka mahi ai mo te painga o te hiko o te ika, haere tonu ki ngā ihi e ngā haerenga mā. Ka pā ki roto, ka urihi ki runga, e ai e member o te haori, o te hapuri, o te Bay of Islands Whangaroa. E ai turi kawanatanga a rohi 2002. Te turi kawanatanga a rohi mo ngā kōrero whakamohio me ngā hui ngā kōrero 1987, me tāpiri atu ki era atu o ngā ture rānei. Te mea whakau ki tēnei ki the Planning Centre Kirikiri ki tēnei rā 31st o Whiringa Neku 2020.
Okay, well, Jay, congratulations. Beautiful. I was through before. W is always last. Saving the best to last.
Joking about that story in my life. Pretty rings.
Lots of action. Yes.
I, Belinda Ward, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Far North District, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of Whale Islands Whangaroa Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other.
Congratulations.
If you like me.
Beautiful. Thank you. You again.
Do they come up?
Come up and hold your certificate, and I've got everybody holding with this.
And then you'll email them to me and I can put them on Facebook. Thank you.
I'll pay you trust that go.
Beautiful. Joy, did you
Did Joe get?
Oh,
We'll do another one just in case.
Some
numbers up.
That's not.
what an amazing smile. Thank you.
I'm going to make my way back up to the table and we'll get started. So congratulations, now that you've all signed and declared, you are officially members. Congratulations. So unfortunately you get the pleasure of my voice for a little bit longer. We've got on our agenda, we'll go through the explanation of laws affecting elected members, and then I'll help you through the election of your chairperson role. So I've got a script here that our legal team have provided us. They have a range of meetings today, including court, so they weren't able to come. Thank you, Lawrence.
Yes.
So on behalf of our legal team, kia ora koutou and welcome. As part of your induction, the Chief Executive is required under the Local Government Act to arrange an explanation of key legislative obligations that apply to you as members. This ensures you understand your responsibilities and avoid any risk of prosecution or disqualification. The key legislation required to be delivered to you today are the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, the Local Authorities Members' Interests Act 1968, and sections 99, 105 and 105A of the Crimes Act 1961, the Secret Commissions Act 1910, and the Financial Markets Conduct Act 2013. You would have received some explanation of some key legislation already at the Governance Essentials workshop that was held on the 24th of October. Today's briefing is legislatively required and speaks to a few more of the specifics. This briefing today is verbal, but you'll also get it in writing so that you can recollect on it. I trust that you've read the report in front of you, and the report provides you with a briefing of the legislation that we've just gone the list I've just read from. And we've also provided an attached summary for you included in the agenda. On behalf of the organisation, if you've got any questions in relation to the report that's in your agenda, please provide them through to the governance team or democracy services team, and we'll go through them in due course with our legal team. Thank you for your time. So if we move on to the election of chairperson, and your agenda, that is from page 18. Thank you for that. So the election of your chair is a really important decision, so I'm not going to rush through. You'll see on the paper there's a recommendation that we use System B as our preferred method to elect a chairperson. Within the report it refers to two options, a System A and a System B. Are you guys comfortable with the explanation of the report, or did you want me to go through the differences between the two systems? Is there a mover to use System B for the election of your chairperson?
Also,
Fun and Jane. Thank you. Do we have anyone that wants to be chairperson? Hopefully,
I would like to express an
is anyone else interested? Is someone happy to move that Belinda be elected as your chair for the training? I'll take Roddy and then Tyler. All those in favour?
Aye.
Yay! Great. Congratulations, Belinda. We've got a seat here.
Hello. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody, for having faith in me to continue this role as chair of the Whangaroa Whangaroa Community Board. It's really nice to have a vote of confidence in the job that you're doing. It's not easy, and it's a forever moving beast. Things are always changing, and I'm constantly learning. So it is a privilege and an honour to represent and advocate on behalf of our communities. And when I sit at that council table with the councillors and speaking rights at the Mayor's pleasure, I speak on behalf and represent all of you. And it is quite a responsibility. And I, along with all of you, are ratepayers, and we are all on the same page, working to do the best that we can in our Whangaroa district for our community. So thank you very much. And I really thank you, Roddy, for bringing me to supervision. And we're going to now.
Sorry, Aisha forgot.
Oh, okay.
To invite our appointed councillor to take the oath.
Oh, yes.
Too busy. Okay.
Okay. Do I do that now?
Yes, so
Please don't frame it.
Otherwise I can't speak. Insurance, have you done that?
Chair, this is my team. I, Anne Lynette Court, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of the Whangaroa district the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other.
Don't take the full certificates. I'll get it over to you.
Congratulations.
We've been on a journey together for a very, very long time. This is an amazing, amazing lady. And for those of you who don't know her, we are very, very lucky to have her as the big boss democracy service today. It's not about that, it's about West Nova.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome you back to our board, Councillor Paul.
Thank you. I'm thrilling to be here.
We value your knowledge, your obviously your historical information, your years of representation at council level and community board level. You're a really invaluable asset to our board, and we look forward to our Hanoi joining us, Councillor Allen. Who'll be sworn in, I guess, when Corey gets sworn in as well. So, yeah, great team to kick off the trade event. Did we introduce Amber? I feel we haven't, Amber. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Kia ora koutou katoa. I'm Amber Whangaroa Alderton. I'm a fairly new addition to the team here. I'm acting as a democracy advisor for the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board. So normally at these meetings I've got the help of Aisha here today to show me the ropes, lead me through this because I haven't done this type of a meeting before, but you normally have me sitting in this position and providing some guidance where I can. Thank you.
Welcome to our whānau. And Stephen, would you like to introduce yourself to
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Stephen Fitzherbert, tō welcome everybody. I'm Stephen Fitzherbert. I am the community board coordinator here for our well-respected representatives, and really looking forward to working with them for the next 3 years to really support and enable their objectives and their commitments for their communities. It's an honour for our councillors here today too. So, kia ora.
And I had to reach out to Stephen with my sympathies. He's the only male in the governance team at council.
Thank you.
So we now move on to item 6.4, the election of the deputy chairperson. I will move that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board A use system B as preferred voting system to elect a deputy chairperson. Are we happy with system B for the deputy? Somebody like to move that? Becky Jane. Seconded, Roddy. Okay. And I now call for expressions of interest for nominations for the deputy chair. Tyler, is there an interest?
I would like to nominate Tyler Bamber for the position of deputy chair.
And second,
You're happy to accept?
Any other nominations?
There you go.
You're it.
A dream team.
Sit at the high table now.
Yes, down here.
Nice squad.
hanging up with all my buttons leaving.
Oh, gosh.
Shoulders, yes, Lane. Okay, moving on to item 6.5. We have recommended that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board note the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board standing orders. Do I have a mover? No, thank you. Seconder? Tyler? There was a little bit of discussion around this at the council, first council meeting yesterday. Lost the day. And I'm not sure whether or not the councillors might want to speak to that, particularly in relation to the casting votes was a hot topic at the
I can speak to it. Sure. So at the council meeting, they discussed giving the ability for the mayor or the chairperson of any council committees a casting vote. And there was a discussion too around notices of motion. So the community board standing orders are separate. You adopt your own document. So you're not obligated to align with councils or to have a casting vote, but you can choose to if you want. And then the conversation around notices of motion, we agreed that operationally we'll create a form template so that we can ensure that there's opportunity for staff comment to ensure that the decision-making requirements under the Local Government Act can be met and presented to you as part of any notices of motion that's coming forward.
What was the impetus for that?
For the notices of motions. In the existing standing orders, there is a requirement that any notices of motion will meet the decision-making requirements. It's the chairperson's role to accept or decline notices of motions, and in the past, to form a discussion, notices of motions have been accepted without that, so then that forms a lot of the discussion around the table and isn't always helpful. So it's just an opportunity to ensure that when notices of motions are coming to the table, that you're fully informed to make a decision.
Just make decision making a bit more efficient.
Otherwise, you might be voting on something that you can't do.
Yeah.
Yes. I heard your Whangaroa on it because you said you talked about all the different things, sometimes competing with other things in trains. So it's like getting information together.
Thanks for that clarification. In our standing orders, there is a casting vote of chair on page 70, item 18.3.
So part of why the casting vote was discussed at the council meeting is because there's a reference that said that the chairperson does have a casting vote, but there was also another reference that said that in the equality of votes or in the event of a tie that the chairperson doesn't have a casting vote. So for council, it was just confirming that inconsistency. And apologies, I haven't checked to see if you have the same inconsistency.
Only be an issue. So councillors will have full voting and speaking rights on our board, correct?
Yes.
So we will be 9, 7.
Yes.
And the only other thing that came up around that discussion at council was discussing the fact that he will be looking to sign an accord with each board, each community board. So, and looking at whether our community board chairs would sit on committees. There's quite a number of committees which I shall inform us on later, and the appointments to those committees. So there'll be a discussion around whether or not community board chairs will get voting rights on that. And Muka will come to the boards, or we will have a joint community board workshop on it with them as to what it is that would go in those accord agreements. So that will affect, in essence, our delegations.
And so, Madam Chairwoman, is that accord a new thing, or has that always been in place?
It is new. I guess it would be an agreement between community boards and council.
And the purpose of that accord, what's the key purpose?
The purpose is to really address our delegations. From what I understand, there's several models that will be discussed for you in a better
position. So there is a national body that represents the local government across the country, and so the Far North District Council is a paying member of that organisation. They have a executive committee that looks specifically at community boards. I'm not sure if Tyler might have sat on those meetings previously. Yeah, so they're called the Community Board Executive Committee, and it's made up of a range of community board members across the country. From those members, those council members. As part of their work, they've looked at how we can better enable community boards to work and what that relationship looks like between community boards and council. And so as part of their work, they've recommended that you have an accord or a relationship type agreement to ensure that it's in writing how you'll liaise between the two and what that looks like. So the accord has been born out of that process. Yeah.
Essentially, it gives more decision-making powers to the community board. So it's formalising the platform to allow that.
Effectively, there's a lot of duplication because we will do something and it has to go to council, and they basically rubber stamp stuff that our input has informed, but
Right.
and so it's very duplicating, wastes a lot of time.
Okay, sounds really sensible.
It's really sensible.
Anyway, just heads up that was discussed at the meeting and it's on the table. So we're just noting this report and keep that discussion.
If I could just add, you'll see in the paper what part of why we're recommending that this just be noted at this stage is that there has been a central government push to change through the regulatory standards bill for all councils across the country to operate under a standard set of standing orders. So a review has taken place. Most of the substance, I understand, is much the same, but it's changing the document so that it's more friendly, more accessible, and utilises plain language more so that it's understood and there's less ambiguity. So that's going through development stages, and I understand it will be out for consultation before Christmas, and it's coming through, I think, March, April next year. So we didn't want to go through too much of a robust process with your standing orders as they currently are, knowing that they will change in the near future.
Makes sense.
Thanks for that information. Okay, so moving on. That was moved by Joe, seconded by Tyler. All those in support? Against? That's carried. And we move on to item 6.6. Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board Schedule of Meetings. The recommendations that the Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board received the report Bay of Islands Whangaroa Community Board Schedule of Meetings. Do I have a mover? Dane. Seconder? Roddy. So we've only got one meeting there, and our schedule will be set at that meeting next month. Council have a couple of meetings already. You haven't got them in your calendars. Just for your information, 26th of November and the 11th of December, there's 2 council meetings. If you want to watch those online or attend them, they're open to members from the public. Okay, so that was moved by Jane, seconded Roddy. All those in support? Against? Carried. Close again. That's all our business for today. It brings us to the close of our formal meeting. And otherwise, got a karakia from one of my board members. Jane, would you like to close us with a karakia?
Inoi tātou. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa. O te atawhai o te tātou areki a ihu raiti, me te aroha o te atua, me na whiwhina tahi tēnā, me te wairua tapu, ake. Amen.
Jane.